is happening in the world of Windows Phone yet again, right? So I just lost count of all the things that Vineet was talking to us about. The Action Center, the keyboard, the brilliant workflow keyboard, all those sensors, Wi-Fi sense, battery sense, you know, all kinds of storage sense, etc. But I'm going to take a little bit of time out from all the OS bits for a while, show you something about one of the devices we've announced yesterday, and then let's look at how it all comes together in this device as well, all the stuff that Vineet spoke about. So as you're probably familiar, we've announced 3 devices yesterday. One of them is the Nokia Lumia 630, available in the single SIM and the dual SIM versions. That's the one I have here, the first Lumia dual SIM device that we've announced. We've also announced the Lumia 635, and we've announced the Lumia 930, which is our flagship. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you a little, it's like a sneak preview. Okay, I'm not going to take too much of time. Just take you through a few things about this device, and then dig deeper into another brilliant experience that we have with the dual SIM, and let's see how we've developed that and made it really more intuitive than anything that's out there. So firstly, about this phone, the Nokia Lumia 630 dual SIM, 4.5-inch laminated display. So what we are doing is we are bringing all of those innovations. We all know the sunlight legibility that we have. So for example, on this other device that I use, the Lumia 1520, brilliant in sunlight, right? We've all seen it. We've got that kind of technology now coming down to much lower price points, and this has laminated display which gives you that amazing legibility also at this price point. This comes with a 1.2 GHz quad-core processor. So everything that you're used to doing on an already super fluid OS now gets even more faster and more fluid because of the quad-core. 512 MB RAM. We have, let me actually just plug this into this TV out. It's actually very easy now, like Vineet said. I've been used to doing a lot of these demos that I had to use custom softwares, etc. Now it's just so easy that I can plug in my own phone, right? You just have a PC client and your phone is right up there. So that's my Lumia 630. What we've introduced are software keys. You can't see those there, but the keys are now completely in as part of the software and the display. You can see the lock screen. I've put the weather there. And once you get into the start screen, I have my own start screen customization. So I'm not going to go through all of the stuff that Vineet has spoken to you about already. But what I'm going to draw your attention to is the 2 SIMs that I have there. You can see the SIM 1 and the SIM 2. Obviously, like I said, it's a dual SIM device, right? Let's get into the Action Center. You can see all of my emails are here. The Action Center is just absolutely brilliant. It's become my gateway into my Lumia device. All I do when I unlock my phone is just get into the Action Center. I can customize it the way I want. All of these buttons here, especially the rotation lock, really handy. Get into the settings. You know, control all your notifications, actions here. You also have control over the level of notification that you want for each and every one of these applications. Do you want banner notifications? Do you want a notification in the Action Center? Do you want it to vibrate? Do you want ringtone? All of that for all of these, right? But let's get into the dual SIM now. So like I said, you have the 2 SIMs here. Firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the Action Center, go into the settings, right? And get into the mobile plus SIM setting. And I'm going to personalize my SIMs. My SIM 1 is the one I use for my work, and SIM 2 is the work that I use, or is the SIM that I use for my personal, that's my personal SIM. So I'm just going to make it something more real, more personal, so that it's not just SIM 1, SIM 2 or Airtel Vodafone. So I'm going to call this SIM 2 as Sun, right? Because personal life, Sun, you're out there, and the work SIM, I'm going to go and call it San, right? Let's try that. So now I have my 2 SIMs named, the Sun and San. Right, so that's the personalization bit that you have. Obviously, you can control which one you use for data, what kind of data, do you want to use 2G, 3G, etc. All of those are there, but those are obviously all hygiene. Right, now that I've personalized them, let's see on the tiles. Now, I didn't spend much time earlier because I wanted to show this to you specifically. So I have a tile here, let me make it bigger, for my SIM 1. This is my phone tile for San. And I have my phone tile also for Sun. Right, completely separate. Similarly, I have my message tile for San. I have my message tile for Sun. So I can keep my 2 lines completely separate, right? If I want to call somebody from work, I get into my San SIM and just call them back. You can see I've made a few calls. One call to my colleague here. I would also have a few calls that I have. So that's my wife, that's my parents. So that's on my my personal SIM. Now, if I'm someone who wants more personalization, right? I want everything to come in together. I want all my call logs together. I want all of my messages together. I can actually link these tiles. Let me show you how. I get in here. I say link tiles. It says your 1 and 2 get linked into a single one. One click, all of my call logs come in here. It clearly also calls out the phones that the calling that I'll do now would be via SAN. If I want, it's a simple switch to do it via SAN. At every step of the way, so to speak, be it in your calling or be it in the messaging, let's also go ahead and link both of these tiles. Again, really simple to do. Sorry, I went into the block. So very simple to link the tiles. So my messages are here. Anandita, my colleague at the back, she sent me a message. So it actually tells me that now if I'm going to text, it's going to text using SAN. If I want, like I said, I can switch immediately on the go, middle of the conversation to the other SIM, right? That's the level of customization that you have. Also, like Vineet said, I'm just going to take this opportunity to try out this brilliant keyboard. So he mentioned it's the fastest keyboard in the world, right? The part I like really the most, okay, and I'm using the English India keyboard, so it's obviously customized for the Indian consumer. The part I like the most is that it just gets me, right? And I'm not going to do that speed test like he did, but I'm going to show you something about this keyboard which I really like. So I've typed in Kapil, very popular name in India, etc. The minute I have pressed a space after Kapil, it gives me an option of Dev, gives me an option of Sharma, okay? Doesn't end there. Kapil Sharma is all about comedy, right? It's already picked up the comedy bit. It's the whole intuitiveness that's built in. Because I have a Kapil Kulshrestha, who's my colleague, who's already in my phone book, it's really easy to type Kapil. Right, so let me just show you that. All I do is this, it gets Kapil. It's actually super accurate, but that's not the best part about this keyboard. It's about this intuitiveness that has been built in. Right, so Kapil, Dev, it would say cricket, you say Kapil Sharma, it will say comedy. It's almost as if it knows what you're thinking. Right, now let's look at something else let me just go ahead and unlink these tiles again. Again, really simple. You want to, at any point of time, just separate those two lines again. You have separate tiles for both. It's gone to the bottom, and we put it back in the front. Right. Now, the other thing that I want to show you is, obviously, we all have our people tile, our contacts completely populated, etc. with all of our contacts. What I can do is, so let's see my contact my parents. It's because I have made that call to my parents from my second SIM, it's already figured out that SIM 2 is what I use. And I can actually force it to use SIM 2 all the time for a particular contact, which is what I've done in this case. If I want, I can actually go here and change it to SIM 1. The phone will remember that I have now set it to SIM 1. It will always make these calls via SIM 1 unless I override. Also, if I have not gone ahead and specifically set it, it's going to remember the last call I made, the SIM I made it from, and keep that as my default setting. Similarly, like we saw, I made the call to Anandita. Let's see what it's done here. It's already put it on the SIM 1. Again, you see the same familiar UI in the calling, in the phone book, the people, as well as in the messaging, which allows this very, very simple, sorry, I think this has gone to sleep, which allows this very simple switch mid-conversation. Very intuitive. It's back, okay. The other thing that I want to show you is the whole smart dual SIM bit, right? So we know that phones these days are all this dual standby. This phone also is, but none of us want to miss that call on the other SIM when we're talking on the first SIM, right? We want to be reachable at all times. So the smart dual SIM implementation is also brilliant, right? The way we've done it is it's actually enabled from the Action Center. I don't have another SIM right now, so I'm not going to be able to show that to you. But what it does is the minute you insert another SIM in your SIM 2 slot, you get a notification here saying, hey, I know you've inserted a new SIM, do you want to set up this SIM? It takes me into the settings, and I'm going to jump into that directly right now. It takes me to this Network Plus setting. There it is. And there is this one call setting button there, which it will allow me to set there, right? And there you have the smart dual SIM. Okay, all I need to do is just switch it on, and it again gives me options saying, do you want to do it between the two SIMs? Do you want to do it from SIM 1 to SIM 2, SIM 2 to SIM 1? As easy as that. We know which SIMs you're using. You're going to select your contact. You can do it either way. You can do it from one to the other. You can do it to another phone. So really easy to also set up the smart dual SIM functionality and completely integrate it into the action center, which is where all the action is happening on this phone right now. So that's the dual SIM experience. Obviously, like I said, we have the quad core, so all of these services that you see here, be it the Here Maps, the Drive, the Mixed Radio, all of them become a lot faster, lot more fluid. You can see this phone, even at this price point, extremely fluid, extremely easy to use, and extremely intuitive, right? And the last bit, something that is obviously my favorite, is the color story on this. I have this beautiful yellow, and as you can see, I'm really fond of yellow, so yellow is my Lumia color. We also have this in phone available in a lot of vibrant colors. It's a very nice polished matte look, right? So the orange, we have the green, and very easy to slip it on as usual. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this because I also want to show you every detail is very well thought of, right? So even the second SIM slot, it's actually pointing towards the outside, because the first SIM people typically just put it in and leave it there, that's a primary SIM. Second SIM is what people are always looking to get better deals on, be it on your data connections, etc. Very simple to just pop it in, pop it out, throw this away, put another SIM, and just click SIM. You feel like orange today, that's your orange. So that's the Lumia 630 for you. We have a few phones available. I obviously have mine. We have a few more in the demo area. So just look forward to having you come and experience the device. And you'll hear a lot more on this device and the other ones very soon. Over to you, Willie.